Yeah, Mini Shark. It's specifically not Lego. It's Airfix Quick Build that just happens to look suspiciously like Lego. And it cost me £4.99 from Lidl, so...
Oh, damn it. I did all that and didn't change camera zoom.
Oh, good old Fisho vision.
Yeah, well, I just put the filter I just put together in. With the sort of intent that people were able to see. But that is not what happened.
Did I hear tell third fish tank has been acquired?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what this filter's for. I'm just gonna, as there's room in this tank to do so, it's gonna live in here for a bit, because that way, when I move to the other tank, it's already kind of going, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Cultivated.
Yes. And the style of filter is dramatically different to the other ones I've got, because, yeah, that's not the sort of filter you stick in a tank that you're designing to look good. It's a completely different approach, and that's because this tank will be for quarantine and breeding.
Mentioned that a couple of times about setting one up for that.
So he's going to go for a Soviet-era brutalist aesthetic.
Indeed. It gets people wanting to support the motherland, and thus we need kiddos ASAP. Thank you. How do you mean going? It gives it chance to grow bacteria. That is, you know, the denitrifying bacteria that keeps the tanks safe for fish to live in, lives in these filters. In the foam and in those weird hula hoop things I just put in the bottom. And yeah, that's what processes all the nasty stuff from the fish poop into something that doesn't kill them. And by sticking it into an existing tank, it can already have a bunch of that bacteria grown when it moves into another tank, thus skipping that tank's sort of early growing period where there isn't any of that present yet, and you've got to wait for the, so you've got to allow them to build up, because you're literally talking about a bacterial culture of more than one type of bacteria as well, like different stages in the chemical process. And I guess to finish up the reasoning, this particular type of filter, the other ones are all designed to be hidden. They're external, like canisters with a pump in them. These filters are a bit different in that they're almost intentionally ugly because they're filters that you use in frequently in shrimp tanks and shrimp breeding tanks, so the shrimp can actually feed off of the outside of the filter. And they are crazy easy to maintain and clean, and they run off an air stone, so they, for breeding tanks, get the water super oxygenated as well, which is good for fry and eggs and so on. Hey, Adelaide. Will it throw the existing tank out of whack? No, because this isn't really an existing tank. This tank is only about 2.5 weeks old. It is in the point where it's got lots of waste and the bacteria is growing, so it will, in reality, just help it get over this hump. And if I time it right, I can lift it out, put it into another tank without the usual bacteria die-off comes once you get over a hump of food, basically.
A hump of food, you say?
Yeah, as long as you understand the food is in the form of decaying matter and the chemicals it produces.
A hump of food is my plan for lunch later.
Only one hump.
Yeah, a big hump.
See, in those circumstances, I think I would probably prefer having 2 humps.
You'd like
Two smaller humps.
2 small humps over 1 big hump.
Yes. Controversial, I know.
I think I'm a big hump man myself.
I think we're straying into terms of service territory.
Does such a thing exist on Twitch? Suppose it depends who you are.
I think it's one of those things that you only find out if it exists after you get hit with it. You'll get an email one day saying, yeah
that
about that
right.
conversation.
Right, that's that done for the time being. Not really setting up the tank tonight, let's actually use some painting. Although for that, I should probably... Yep.
On a Lego stream.
Some of us schmucks aren't doing Lego.
Technically need to remind just yet. Sorting out 240 cards.
I believe they call that an addiction of cards.
Well, yeah. No, I was going to buy a box of them. They were like 140 quid for 12 booster packs or whatever it is. I was like, it's a bit much just to fill out literally 12 cards in my deck, but I don't want to just keep buying individual boosters until I get the cards I want. So I had a quick browse around eBay and they were a little cheaper. But I found a guy who basically buys entire boxes, takes out the rares and the ultra rares, sells them separately, and then ships what's left as 240 random common and uncommon cards. Well, all the stuff I need is uncommon and common, so I'll buy that for 20 quid rather than the entire set for 140. So I
Oh, he's got you done. He's got you done.
yeah.
Thought you were good.
So instead of getting 24 cards, 48 cards for the same price, I got 240. So makes sense. So I too got a good bargain. Yeah, I'm not the kind of person who ever really gives a hell about must have shiny cards, must have ultra rares, got to be the foil versions. About that.
What did I do with my wet palette? Damn it.
Probably wet it.
No, I didn't. I was not that prepared. Oh, that was it.
Yeah, finally streaming had been a thing back when I was collecting the Star Wars CCG.
Well, that's kind of the other half of it. That I've done my collecting days. I've played Yu-Gi-Oh. I've had all the shinies and the foil backs and the limited editions, and running out to the cinema to get the movie editions of particular cards. And I'll be honest, none of that, thanks.
Nerd.
Not sure. That one.
I remember getting the Ancient Mew card when I went to see the Pokemon movie.
I don't have the Ancient Mew card, but I did win a local Leeds tournament and used to have an official Mew that sadly is lost on the whatever card. I think it was gold, that is now out of batteries. Yeah, I never got into the Pokemon.
Yeah, I never did the Pokemon cards.
I think I've still got. In fact, I'm pretty sure upstairs somewhere, I've still got the limited collector's edition Yu-Gi-Oh set that contains one random sealed booster from each of the 12 sets. Each of the first 12 sets. So I could have the rarest card in the world sat up there.
Forever entombed.
But yeah, I'm not opening it because if I don't have it, it reduces the value. So the last card right at the bottom of the pile was the last one of the one I needed. I was really, really annoyed that I was still going to need to go and buy a single.
Won the jackpot. Did buy a few Magic cards at some point. Magic never grabbed me.
I've got a couple of decks of normal and a couple of decks of, but Commander's much more interesting to me. Two Desert Tigers. Okay.
Past wasted is a fucker. But this time he has been truly cruel.
What has he done?
He left 3 fully cooked pork chipolatas out on the side in the kitchen last night
And
when
the
he cooked
fish
dinner.
got him.
No, and they're still there.
Oh, dry aging.
Fortunately, they've grown to 3 times the size of the Earth's surface, and Norweb want a word with you.
I think that's how the end of the world comes. By chipolata. The problem is this, they're very tempting, but I'm not going to eat a chipolata that's been out on the site for almost 24 hours. Seems like a bad day.
It'll be fine to eat. Won't be fine 20 minutes later.
But you're in the UK, and it's basically winter, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm also in a house that is heated.
It's not heated that much.
Heated enough. What? This is it. I do not live in a refrigerator. No, Kamak, if that's what you're asking.
I do like to keep my kitchen relatively cold, but even I don't think I'd risk that one.
You don't want to save them for next time you got to do some food challenges for a stream?
Oh god.
No, thank you. No, I'm good.
Speed running the squits. No thanks.
What am I gonna work on? No century eggs. Go away. I have a ban against eating food that's older than I am.
They only call them century eggs, they're not actually a...
Well, then I'm getting gypped as well. Fuck that. Fucking scam.
Not only are they older than you are, but they're also not, so it's false advertising.
Exactly. I also have a straight Moriarty against food that's likely to make you vomit. Like, no, thanks. No clearing of breath.
Oh, well, I'll just.
It's a library set.
So it was a fish tank. Gills only.
I would say that would make it quiet, but that's not actually true. And one of the fish I'm planning on getting for the tank 2 is one that makes noises.
Mexican screaming fish.
That's the one. It actually seems to be a common weak point for the Vallejo pot, actually. Paint, dry paint builds up here, I think, and slowly, as you screw the lid on, forces it to split around the lid. Which I think sort of makes sense, right?
Yeah, I think I've got a bit of that with my paints in similar style bottles.
Also, you have been invaded, by the way, Mr. Romero.
You too have been invaded. So many invaders.
Yes, the likely suspects, no less.
They've done causing trouble wherever they were and have come to inflict trouble on us.
It seems to be a night for trouble. First the hostage situation, now this.
Trouble and bargains, that's what tonight's all about. Tonight's theme?
Yeah, I guess. This model was a bargain as well, actually. He is, for his price, an absolute chonker. So how was stories that are old enough to be sold more expensively than others?
What?
Well, they're vintage.
Ah,
They were playing antique narrative.
ye olde retailer.
Was it Adventure? Or was it Metal?
Noble Hunter says they got eaten by wolves. That sounds kind of metal.
And also kind of Adventure. But pleased to hear. No, sounds good. It's important to support the local wildlife and whatnot, so yeah, sounds good. Did they do anything other than get eaten by wolves, or was that primarily it? It seems a lot. You know, it's a surprisingly small amount to do for what I assume was the usual 4-hour stream.
There's a lot of wolves.
I think it's quite a death train, if nothing else.
Maybe they were achievement hunting. Achievement unlocked. Get eaten by wolves 10,000 times.
Why is that an achievement you want?
Bragging rights.
Evidently.
Hey, Nomus.
They were homesteading. I see. Jack made a door? Damn.
That's some advanced technology right there.
My boy, how he's grown.
What do you think of next? Making a slightly smaller door halfway up the wall?
That's lunacy. Who would that be?
Birds.
Yeah. That. Two doors and a trapdoor. The trapdoor was for what purpose exactly?
Anyone who made it through the first two doors.
Fair. And some shelves. Yeah, so it was a proper like IKEA stream. Oh yeah. And meanwhile, Splitsy did. There's been a lot of talk of Shack. Did Splitsy do anything other than get eaten by wolves? Splitsy dug a hole.
Maybe IKEA missing a trick by not doing an official IKEA survival game.
Genuinely thought you were going to say by not setting wolves on people.
Well, that's option number 2.
Buy our stuff. No, bark, bark.
That's for the bad reviews. Publication drops on the bad one. Send in the wolves.
A lot of life's problems could be solved easily with wolves. Mrs. wants a divorce? Send in the wolves.
I'm unsure about your definition of a lot. I will give you some.
They left out the french fries in your drive-thru order at McDonald's. Wolves.
I had to say, I might have actually been to the drive-thru at the McDonald's recently. And worst of all,
You forgot your wolves?
I forgot my wolves, exactly. And worst of all, it wasn't bad. There is a time window, I think.
Yes, it's when the McRib comes back.
It's not that. Also, that sounds awful. And I don't understand the... What is the attraction? Please, mate, you sound convinced. But explain.
I don't know, they probably put drugs in it or something.
Has another good use for wolves. Stuck in IKEA. Wolves.
5 minutes before closing and someone won't leave. Yeah, release the wolf.
IKEA sends their wolves after you for failure to buy their furniture. What's the solution? Your own wolves.
Oh, wolves.
Counter wolves are recommended.
Is that a different wolf, or is that just the same wolf applied differently?
It's got a different paint scheme.
Ah, right, yeah.
You've got to assume they're sending out packs of wolves, so you need one large wolf. Try and counter them and become the alpha.
The Pickle Joe wolves. Did Wilds get any better?
I honestly don't know. I've not played it as much as any of the others, so I'm very behind on it. Its performance is better, from what I've been told. And if you're into Final Fantasy, the Omega fight's brutal.
None of these things are attracting me.
Yeah. If someone was to try and tempt me to go back and play a Monster Hunter right now, I'd be more tempted to go back and play a rando of World than I would Wilds.
World is, yeah. World was a sweet point. It might miss a few of the QOLs bits of some of the more recent games, but I'd argue some of those QOL bits weren't positive. But I feel like the whole riding around on your mount in Wilds, all it does is highlight that the areas aren't actually that big.
Yeah, it doesn't really have a purpose beyond itself.
Yeah, so that didn't help. And World's got a great monster selection.
Yeah.
Big, varied, but also quite a fun monster selection. Some good characters in there.
I don't know, the pacing just felt better as well. I don't feel as driven to go and do the quests and the hunts in Wilds as I did World.
I like the Rises not being included in this because it's just kind of a different game.
Yeah, it's too different. It's not meant to be same style.
It just doesn't join this discussion because they're not compared.
And I'll be honest, if I was going to go back and play any, I think I'd still play Rise over Wild, but for different reasons.
I'd love to be able to show you this chat, but I can barely see it, so you definitely can't. Until we invent the camera eyes.
Speak of the devil.
I believe if you're talking about a jeweler's loop, it's L-O-U-P, actually. It wouldn't hurt, but it wouldn't help with the camera, I don't think. You're always gonna. Or is it? We got. Yeah, okay. It's even got an E on the end. But yes, it wouldn't help because in the end, if you want to look from the same POV as me, well, there you go. You're now looking from the same POV as me. Not great, right? You guys are always going to be a little bit different angle. You're still not seeing into the places I was talking about. It was like painting the inside of that leg. Like, there's no way I can see that. The only way I can do this is if I learn to paint off of the camera, which I might actually be able to do.
Oh dear.
The latency is 0, and to some extent, it sees better than I do. There is an argument that it gets a better view than mine. Well, I've done it a number of times. Like, weirdly, I've got the when I'm playing bass, a lot of the time I am actually looking at the camera. I'm looking at the OBS output instead of my hands, and still playing like that. Yeah, well, now what I need to do is design myself some sort of hand-worn, maybe with a left-hand hand-worn interface, where if I, tense certain muscles, we can zoom and remotely zoom and unzoom the camera and so on, and then we go.
A power glove.
Yes, that's the one.
For a fortune these days.
But no, it would not need to be that much. It just need to be a couple of like easy to access buttons, basically. What do you mean, go down the path to become a tech priest? I am more metal than any of you, I think. Probably not. There's probably some people in the chat that have got more metal in them than I have. But I've got a reasonable amount of metal in them.
You
I like
do
that.
have the Omnissiah's blessing.
I do like the hasty caveat that was put on the end of that. I'm more metal than any of
yeah,
you,
just-
maybe.
Well, there's enough people watching that, it's just like, yeah, and then someone comes up and is like, yes, but my left leg is metal, or something like that. Yeah,
If,
all right.
if Sean's in chat, I reckon he'd give you a good run for your money.
Yeah, I'm not that much. I've got elbow and one hand. Yeah, you basically it's like hip replacement kind of wins by default. You could have back work, that would be another one. Knee replacement would probably do it.
You could have a length of rebar just stuck through the middle.
Are you the Hive Tyrant from Space Marine 2?
I might be.
I've always wondered.
Let's give off that vibe. Have you had a look at the tech priest that's been tech marine that's been added to that yet?
I've not had a look yet.
Not bad. It's definitely got some fun mechanics to it.
A bit of stick. Who doesn't have a bit of stick in their knee after all? Yeah, you're a special one, Bucket Man. Is this why you have such an affinity with buckets?
Sticks and buckets frequently paired.
Well, same material.
He used to be a bucket until he took a stick to the knee.
I think this time around it might be the other way around, He used to be a human until he took a stick to the knee, and then now he's a bucket. Alright.
Well, bucket
Maybe.
the man now.
Maybe we'll never know.
Well, I don't know. He's in chat. But he's easy to reference.
Alrighty. Second base coat of red is finally done. Time for third coat.
Hey, Palligat. How's it going?
Oh, wait. An opportunity to make Capac walk across the room.
Oh,
Do it. It's fine, Capac. You don't share the chat with me. I'll be fine. Don't you worry.
let's have a look.
I made him get up. Hey.
Why I'm not saying anything.
Here we go. Invite away.
Yep. Not just a dead chat, Pilot Guy. It's a dead stream. I don't do things by halves.
I'm doing okay, Greg.
It just occurs to me, I wasn't actually sure if I turned on my audio source for Discord/TeamSpeak. But for the past hour, I could have just been sat here nattering like a madman to myself.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
Has
assume
its
you
own
were.
charms. I think we're actually. Right up there. Touch up on horns.
Oh, Mr. Tyranid, why do you have so much body?
Scale creep.
I think this is the NID's physically largest model.
Other than Titan scaling.
Other than the Titan stuff, yeah. I think if you're talking about like actually fielded in normal size, I think this is the biggest, dude.
Is that the one that's second, that its other build is the Termagant Hormagant production?
Yeah.
Then yeah,
It's the one with the rupture cannon. And then can't remember what his name is now.
More specs.
Best Tyranid. No.
No.
Not horse specs. Best Tyranid player ever. Unit names? Meh. Tyrannofex. That's what this is.
Ah.
I mean, it depends a bit on how you judge it as well, because like technically the winged tyrant is bigger, but that depends on if you go on base size or
Yeah, if you,
mini size. This is on the biggest base.
I suppose if you're
And
going wingspan, then yes, that
yeah,
one.
because the end, it ends up being massive because it's got enormous wings. But it's a small monster in comparison to what the Tyrannosaurus is.
Yeah, that's like saying that a big eagle is bigger than a lion. Sure, its wings are make it longer, but it's not bigger.
Alright, there we go. Let's count down. Time to do some experimentation with these armor panels. Need some Blood Belcher. There's Pot of Doom.
Like a worse pot of greed.
A little bit of that. Mix in some Agrax. To tint it a bit.
Katie's still fucking around with God.
Maybe. Get them all in the right order so that if I ever need to find them again, they're divided by colour and then numerical.
He's playing with his new toy.
No, I'm organising my new toy and I hate it. I hate that I have to do this, but my brain won't let me not.
I don't believe you.
Okay, that was always an option.
I don't think there's any hate. This is false hatred. And creating an organized whole to be approved of. To the extent that I did the equivalent of that with my WoW TCG cards. Got them all, like, because it was a point where we realised we'd been playing some of the rules wrong, and our decks were elite.
Oh, right.
And so it was one of those ones that was like, all right, hard reset. I'll get everything sorted. You know, everything in the right boxes, in the right places, class cards in class card boxes, generic stuff, lands split off in their own sort of lands and terrain split off into their own boxes. Just all the organizing where with like catalog cards where required, so you could quick switch to like, no, I want something of this point value. It was all neatly organized. And then my brother and one of my friends decided that they were going to build decks one night. And as some of the cards in this collection, because it had become a joint collection through the guild meet, were technically my brother's, he felt that it was absolutely fine to just do this. And I have not really touched the collection since, because they made some decks. They did not put anything back where it was. It was, yeah. It was like, that took me like 2.5 days of work to put all of that stuff where it was supposed to be. And you tore it apart one evening.
We did the same with 6 years worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and it lasted literally until the very next time we played.
I would have been fine with it if I'd been there. If I was part of it at least, so I got to use my neatly organized collection to build some decks, I would have been okay with it, but I didn't. They did it without me.
Yeah, I'll go as far as, I mean, this is probably a bit further than I should go. It's divided by booster sets, colour, and then each colour is split into numerical order. So, you know, GDO 1 booster, 119 comes before 120. Nice and easy to remember. But yeah, I'm not dividing by set, magic, whether it's aggressive, and no, you can. Right off.
Well, you kind of had to with the WoW TCG stuff, because it's like, okay, so which faction, which class,
yeah,
which, you know, because this is, you know, only some of the cards, and then you had to go to like, okay, and this is an action card, and this is an action card for a specific class, and so on and so forth. So the categorization got pretty gnarly.
Yeah, we had all our quests separate. Anything that was Horde was one side, anything that was Alliance was the other. Neutral were in their own set as well. And then we kind of vaguely arranged them by point value, but we never really stuck to that. I got Rain, I got all of the cards I need for this deck that I could possibly get from that booster set. I'm still going to need Starter Deck 02, Starter Deck 01, and I think 2 more singles that are just super rares and I'm never going to pull without buying them. But yeah, I'll probably just go on eBay and grab a couple of singles. I think I need maybe 6 cards.
This man is well and truly in the trap.
For those watching on stream, for reference, that entire box is all the boosters I've bought of the first booster pack. That's how many I've bought of the second. Like, maybe 4. Like, every card I need came from the same one, which meant I was pulling against the stuff I already have rather than new stuff.
Oh man, I'm glad I got into the WoW TCG as it was dying, and by buying up, people abandoning it because they were no longer going to do anything with it, rather than during its heyday. Because yeah, I think I've got something in the region of 15,000 cards for that.
I don't think we'll have had anything near that. Coltman could probably tell you better than I could. We probably had a good couple of thousand.
So I got all my D&D minis.
Problem with this is it's brand new. This game only came out last year.
Yeah.
So we're on the I think the 3rd booster set has just dropped, and I've not even looked at what's in it yet.
I got a whole
And for
bunch.
anyone wondering, the WoW TCG plays a bit like Magic the Gathering, I guess, in a lot of ways, but the obviously WoW themed, and with the advantage that, and the reason we use it is because it's got a quite significant PvE side.
Yeah.
That mimics the raid instances and dungeons from World of Warcraft quite well. And so that adds something that you don't really get from Magic, where it's this like weird pseudo, it's like almost D&D, but it's with a card game.
Yeah.
It's with a TCG. It's like it's interesting and quite fun.
I mean, I don't think it's unfair to say that it is a carbon copy of Magic the Gathering that uses quests instead of land. That's
Well, it has land as well, but
well, they did add land in later, didn't they?
yeah, there was a later
Yeah.
thing that they added. It's just straight up land too. But yes, yeah, oh no, it is. It was their learning period before Hearthstone.
Yeah. Even though it's a completely different company, they decided they wanted a digital one that took off better, so they just shut down the physical. Magic has done I weirdly think that the Magic did the raid thing first, but it was such a failure that they kind of never went back. But weirdly, this week I should be receiving my Magic the Gathering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles raid set, which is the four turtles, 4 separate players, 4 40-card decks versus a Shredder raid deck, exactly like the old WoW TCG used to be. So as of this week, they'll finally have gone back to it. Yes, I've got...
I think WoW's got the advantage that with these raid things, at least, that they get to build off of a whole bunch of existing. Yeah, and we've also already done this. All we really need to do is translate what is a game rule into a more different game rule.
Yeah, and even people who don't play Warcraft, if you say Ragnaros, they're probably going to know roughly what you mean. Whereas if you said to me, oh yeah, you're raiding Nicol Bolas. I'm sorry, who?
I never liked his music.
Right, cards are officially packed away, done and dusted for the... But that was well worth saving 120 quid to do it that way. Yeah, I'm quite excited to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. I've seen a couple of the preview cards, but I've tried not to look into it. If anyone wants to play Donatello, they're going to have to buy their own deck, because that's mine.
like agreeing with the Northerner.
I always had you down as more of a Leonardo.
You are incorrect, sir.
Well, strangely enough, I was always the Leonardo.
Yes. That sort of guy. A good old responsible cowback.
Well, at the time that I was into Ninja Turtles, most of my interactions regarding the Ninja Turtles were with my 4 younger brothers. So I had a certain affinity for being the brother in charge.
The older brother syndrome. Mine was the same.
To the extent, in fact, Mr. Geddes, that unfortunately influenced by the fact that I have nieces. Just have this in the other corner of the room.
Oh, you got the Funko. I never got any of the Turtles Funkos. I've got most of the Labyrinth stuff. I used to collect them every time I went to a Comic-Con or something. I'd come back with a couple of them. But I ended up selling them all because they were just taking up too much space. But I kept my Sarah, my Jareth, and my Ludo. I still need to get Hoggle. I've got Space Jam Marvin the Martian. And Asterix from Asterix and Obelix are the only ones I've got left now.
Okay. Yep.
The
Some
only,
of those I strongly agree.
the only Funko Pops I have are Sark and Tron from Tron.
I genuinely couldn't have even told you the
Very
bad guy's
bad.
name.
Well, Sark was his real name, but it's the program version of him. I don't know what that character's called.
Was the big bad guy just called Master Computer or something?
The MCP.
Yeah. Master Control Program. It's probably been about 35 years since I've seen Tron. Not seen any of the
Good
new
memory.
stuff.
The new stuff is looks pretty.
I saw the Daft Punk one. I haven't seen the Nine Inch Nails one.
I was going to make a joke about, well, did Nine Inch Nails do the thing for that? But it was goddamn everywhere. There's nobody on the planet that doesn't know that Nine Inch Nails was in that. I play Kingdom Hearts and Tron's in that, so I know little bits from there. I don't know. I was never that big on Tron.
I don't think anyone was, really.
It was an odd one to return.
Even odder one to put Jared Leto in.
God, someone supporting tie-in games. Strong. That's strong.
There are some terrible tie-in games. One of my favourites will always be Small Soldiers on the PSX. That thing was so bad it was fun. Needed in life was Tommy Lee Jones playing an animated toy soldier.
I mean, if anyone's going to do it.
Yeah, it's good. I did recently find out through random browsing that in Japan, Tommy Lee Jones has a similar reputation to Chuck Norris over here used to. You know, the whole Chuck Norris can destroy everybody with a glance. When he does push-ups, he doesn't move, the earth does, kind of thing. But in Japan, they have that for Tommy Lee Jones.
Nice.
Which I think they got the way cooler end of that bargain.
I just like the Jim Carrey's Tommy Lee Jones story. When they were
Batman, I
making
assume.
Batman Forever, and they were working together, and they hadn't actually met yet. And Jim Carrey saw him at a diner and sat down at the booth with him, and Tommy Lee Jones leaned over and said quietly to him, "I will not sanction your buffoonery."
That's some.
How do you respond to that? Oh.
What? I think you can't respond to it, because what does it even mean, dude?
It does imply that to have access to a level of buffoonery, you need Tommy Lee Jones's permission.
And then they're both starring in a movie where they're both being all buffoonery all the time.
You miss the old goofy Batman. Dark Knight was fine, but yeah, have you Danced with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight? Just can't beat that level of cheesy.
Well, the funniest thing about that is that it was considered really dark and serious at the time. Compared to the 60s Batman, which was most people's previous experience with the character.
Adam West, best Batman.
I think it's a quote from Big Bang Theory, where they've got Adam West on, and he's moaning about the newer Batman. He's like, I never had to tell people I was Batman. I never said I'm Batman. I just turned up and people knew. Yeah, that's about right.
Right, I think that's looking pretty good.
I need a quick beer, I think. So, back in a moment.
Don't bother.
Red movie as well. Back and watch the original Judge. When Stallone says, "I am the law," sounds like he's trying to convince the bad guys that, you know, I'm important, I am in charge. But when Carl Urban says it, he's just stating a fact. He doesn't care if you know or not. This is just how it is.
Just by the nature of Sylvester Stallone, when he says it, it sounds like he's got a mouthful of marbles.
True.
Alright, let's get washing. Gonna get our red wash. We're gonna bathe our enemies in our blood. Or their blood. Or somebody's blood.
Your blood and bathing and for the Game Boy, I've got a choice of stickers. Do I want Super Mario Land or Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening?
Is that for the cartridge or for the screen?
Yeah, this is for the cartridge itself.
Doesn't give you the bits to make both cartridges?
I don't believe.
Lame.
It must, because what goes on the screen is a separate Peace. Yeah, okay, so the first thing you build is a cartridge, then you build the unit itself, and then you build a second cartridge. Huh? Do Mario first, because Mario's worse.
I don't like this at all. It's not working well. This is too tacky for these larger surfaces. I need...
Okay. I just decided, as I was leaving there, to check on the fish tanks, give them a quick feed. And more relevant for my chat, but I might as well share it with everyone. I've discovered why the cichlids have been behaving weird, and it's because they laid eggs in two places. And there is still a batch that is growing. Looks like it might have a bit of fungus on some of them, but it's in the back corner of the tank. And they haven't eaten them.
The baby's incoming.
Maybe. Fungus a bit concerning. Basically, the fertilized eggs are always fine, but if any of the eggs get missed, they essentially rot, and as part of that process can start growing some fungus, and that fungus can spread to the other eggs, and in doing so kill them. At the moment it looks like it's fairly contained. We'll have to see, but there's nothing I can do about it now. That as you can probably tell, I know a bit about this, and a part of it is the only way you can really deal with this problem is to have them lay their eggs on something you can remove from the tank, so that you can then put it in a place where you can then treat it, basically. And you actually you copper treat the water in a way that you would never treat anything normal. And it's a bit brutal, but what it does is ensure that fungus never occurs and you don't lose the whole batch. In this case, the back tank is a natural tank, so it's going to do what it does.
Thanks for the follow, Parker.
Don't follow Katie's.
No, I agree.
Parker, I thought Parker, I should inform you. He is a northerner.
I'm a good northerner, which means I'm a terrible person.
Just so you're going into this fully informed of what you've just done. Oh, Sheik, congratulations.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome, dude.
Good job. What are you mastering?
Oh, that's got to feel good.
Yeah, I bet that's a bit of a relief, if nothing else.
Much better with down wash.
Nice, chic. You got a plan long term as to where you want to go with it?
Digging some holes, I imagine.
Old Dwarfo.
He's making a mess.
I've done making the mess. I'm now undoing a mess. Which is all Lego really is.
Yeah, it's really specific organising.
Dip out a box of stuff. Hide it up into a nice neat shape that sits on a shelf. Fascinates me how people come up with the designs for these. And actually sat there and thought, brick 476 would probably fit perfectly. Grey one, but not the dark grey, the light grey.
Those people are paid quite well, I suspect.
A lot of them are designed by community. On Rebrickable and stuff like that, you'll find people who just...
Oh, I know there are plenty that are. I mean, the ones that do it officially.
They have a submission process where community can submit them and then they get looked at by, I think they're called Lego Masters or Brick Masters or something like that.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. I bet they get paid well.
Let's be real. I'm thinking more of the sort of people that come up with their, like that, whatever they call their plant line.
Oh, the
For example,
botanicals.
like the people that get to design new blocks instead of. It's like, nope, we're gonna do. I mean, I hope whoever came up with botanicals made a good amount of money off of it.
If he's getting
Definitely made Lego a lot of money.
if he's getting paid commission on that, he never needs to work again.
Yeah.
The one I saw was it's one of the old Lego Technic excavators with full remote control and stuff like that, the old big silver ones.
Yeah.
Someone was like, yeah, I could rebrick that into Johnny 5. Here's the schematics for it, and here's the pieces you'll need, and a manual on how to do it. Mad. And it's fully remote control.
Years alive.
Unfortunately, the kit that they use is basically, well, as with most Technic, gone.
I've got some old Technic, but that is not one of it, unfortunately. I did have one of their excavators, but it wasn't that one, it was a little one. It had an external control panel, but it was the little, like, 2-axis spinny about.
Right. No, this is the big 250 quid at release silver thing with hoop on the front and everything.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's apparently you can buy that and go, yeah, I'm having Johnny 5 instead. With the Star Trek kit releasing, there's quite a lot on there at the moment of people rebricking into other starships. Quite nice Miranda class. Been looking at. You're going to cost about 50 quid's worth of brick.
In theory, I was bought that for my Christmas present by my parents. But
when it's
I
back
was
in
told
stock.
at the time I was told at the time I have an email, even printed out email saying it was going to be due at the end of January. But I actually have a suspicion what's happened is my father has convinced my mother to cancel it.
Oh dear.
Because he's that sort of dude.
Yeah. If it's not arrived when they say we don't want it, we'll go
Well,
somewhere
no,
else.
not even. No.
All right.
Far less cool than that. I'm thinking more than an angle of like, well, he didn't seem suitably excited at Christmas, and given that we haven't actually received it yet, let's just return that because he'll forget about it. I'm not kidding. My dad's an interesting individual.
Well, speaking of which, there was much ado last time about family meetings.
It turned out to be a joint birthday party for my sister-in-law and my nephew.
So not too onerous.
It was alright. I wasn't there for that long. Yeah. Only onerous from the perspective of
They want you
Sort
to
of-
organise it.
no, just thinking back to my own birthday, where about 2 people in the room achieved the heady heights of saying the words "Happy Birthday," and no one else recognized it in any way, shape, or form. And there was a certain amount of, okay, so you never told me that this was a birthday party, and it's for a bunch of people that couldn't be fucked with mine. Gotcha. And that's including the fact that this is not like, oh, but they weren't around. No, this is that last year on my birthday, we were leaving for France on the skiing trip. I was out the front of my house, and my brother, sister-in-law, both of their kids, my mum and dad, and my little sister were all present out the front talking to the people that were about to leave. And on top of that, we have a little internal chat between our friends that includes my brother and my sister-in-law, in which 2 of those friends said happy birthday to me and no one else joined in. So there was a certain amount of bittersweetness to like, are you actively just doing this to be shitheads? Like, how many cues do you need? Meanwhile, I'm glad we're sitting here talking about the cake you've made yourself for your birthday.
Yeah, maybe you need to carry some candles around with you or something.
Yeah. When next time you get the Armsky flags printed up, also get in. By the way, it is actually my birthday flag, and just drape it out the window. See how many people notice.
I don't know. This sounds kind of bitter because it is, and kind of petty because it kind of is. But at the same time, for people listening, take into account I live with these people. I'm in the same house as these people. So it's like, yeah. And then Christmas comes around and they've got, oh, you're married and you've got 2 kids. Cool. Buying presents is getting fucking expensive.
Yeah, my family gave up on that years ago.
We tried that in ours. The rule was when me and my brother hit 16, because we're the oldest, we're going to stop buying presents for people. To which then, rightfully so in my opinion, the parents of the younger kids were like, well, hang on. We've bought your kids presents for 16 years. You've bought ours presents for 5 years. That's not reasonable.
Meanwhile, the single dude surrounded by fucking families of everybody is like, okay, so I buy my brother a present, I buy my sister-in-law a present, and then I buy each of their kids a present. In return, I get one back. Why am I treating you as individuals when you do not respond as individuals? You know what I mean? It's like it just gets bitter and weird. And I get it, because at the same time, you've got kids, and kids are fucking expensive.
That's not your that you didn't cause
Full
that.
stop. It's not my problem, but I kind of get it. But it just means that like, at some point you've got to make the sensible choice and just go, this is stupid. Can we find some happy medium here that just means that we're not spending shitloads of money and everyone at the end of it's like, ugh, still.
Time to bite the bullet and be like, please do not get me any presents this year. I will not be getting anybody any presents this year.
Yeah.
Is the way I went.
Indeed.
I went completely the other way with my family very early on. I was
The
17
only thing I
years
want to
old.
do is get the kids some presents.
Yeah. And I was 17
and
years old
partly
when my
because-
mum passed me in the street and didn't recognise me. That's how away from my family I am.
Yeah, fair. No, the only thing I want to do is get the kids some presents, and anyone who knows what I do when it comes to getting the kids some presents, they're good presents, but they will fuck off their parents. Their parents will hate them for a day or two.
Good presents and also kazoos.
The kazoos always go down. I've done that more than once now. And somehow the second time around they'd forgotten.
I'll be honest, that's on them. You get them with the same prank twice. That's on you, sorry. Also sat across on a train from my dad. He was 3 seats away. We were on that train for 45 minutes. He didn't realise it was me. Proudest moments in my life.
It just sounds to me like you are some sort of
Ghost.
Tom Cruise fake face level sneak artist rather than anything else.
I was sat there in a high-vis jacket with a bike. I was the most noticeable
bike-
person on that train.
You understand people and how to manage them. The bike distracts. They're too fascinated by the bike. They won't see the face.
Don't speak to him, but I think at Christmas I bought 4 presents. One for my granddad, one for my grandma, one for me, and one for my sister's cat. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Yeah, I don't live with
their
them.
own life scenario. So
I think if I lived with them, it'd be a little different.
You're vaguely familiar with mine, and
Yes.
it's a bit of a different scenario when you're all in the same damn house. And I have to, for the last 4 days, I've had to walk through their kitchen in order to get in and out of the house because they blocked the front door using an old mattress
Oh, nice.
that they hadn't moved out of the house yet. So it was just like, okay, I can just about get through the door that I would not, the door I normally use in order to avoid,
Them.
give them some privacy. I don't want to walk through their kitchen in the middle of whatever might currently be happening between them and their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, this is taking into account this is one of these families where I've accidentally walked through. My route into the house, unfortunately, goes past the kitchen. And if the kitchen door is open when you're currently talking to your 15-year-old daughter about sex, then yes, I will hear it. And it will be quite awkward. And it's even more awkward when your mother then immediately points it out and then bursts into massive laughter for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I can see that being not appreciated by the child.
Oh, that probably didn't go down well at all. No. And I was trying to sneak past. They didn't have to draw attention to it. She didn't notice. They did, and then completely threw her under the bus.
Wait, was this a they both turn around simultaneously to see you on tiptoes in the middle of the doorway situation?
Well, kind of, yeah. Yeah, weirdly, me and her haven't spoken so much recently since the incident.
I'm currently in the process of digitizing all the old family movies from VHS.
Oh, you need to tell me or help me out doing that because I've got some that I need to do.
Yeah, absolutely fine. I literally just. I'm doing all the camcorder ones at the moment. I just need to find a reasonably cheap VHS. I'm not paying 140 quid for a VHS player that's going to get used for 2 days.
Okay, let me have a look around.
Oh yeah, if you've got one, that'd be one.
Yeah, they get a bit
There's
hard to find
half
these
a
days.
chance.
It's because they're all really niche now, and people are they're doing that thing where they go back to VHS because it's quote better, like the fact that it's absolutely not.
It's actually probably not in any way, shape, or form.
Give me a metric, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. Yeah, my grandma gave me her old VHS DVD combo, but something's wrong with the DVD side of things, so I can't with the VHS side of things. So it'll accept and reject, but it won't do anything else. It just turns off. I need to figure out what's wrong with that. So
Let me have a look around.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture what's available, and I'm suddenly slightly fearful that the place that I think this is stored in has recently been done over by my father.
And he's sent it back because nobody wanted it.
Well, no, he's in a.
I got a refund from
Right
JVC.
Right now, in a slightly suspicious fashion, my parents are both in a we need to consolidate. Like vibe.
Yeah.
You know, they're chucking loads of stuff out, boxing it up, you know, just. And part of me has a suspicion, because they've talked about it a few times, that they're gonna move out.
I think you've got the kit to do it, but you don't have a downscaler, do you? An upscaler, sorry. OSSC
No.
or anything like that.
No, I have no way of taking in the actual, like, whatever, SCART or RGB.
I can do
output.
SCART,
I
RGB,
take
and
it with
coax.
it. Both of my parents are in a declutter phase, which is why it's concerning. If it was just one of them, it would be fine. When they're both in a declutter phase, that means something's up, because they are surprisingly united for a couple that's been together for 40 years.
Suspicious unity.
The upside of doing all this is that I get to send screenshots to my cousins of all the embarrassing things we used to do. Hey, look, remember this Christmas when you were 6 years old and you decided to come dressed as Posh Spice? I've got footage of that.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, that's kind of why I want it too.
Because of the Christmas when you were dressed as Posh Spice?
No, he was ginger.
Pretty much. I don't think, I doubt I was Posh Spice. But yeah, we have a bunch of old VHSs that are of every Scout summer camp had an accompanying video. And this is stuff from the 90s. It was all camcorder rubbish that then got painstakingly edited. So this is edited camcorder footage by my Scoutmaster of us, when me and my brother, when we were anywhere from 7 up to 16. Maybe a bit later for me. So yeah, this is stuff I'd like, and it's stupid, and I imagine there's probably some stuff in there that's inappropriate.
Yeah, one of my
And I
favorite.
know that there is, exactly as you might expect of scouting, a surprisingly large amount of cross-dressing.
So, I haven't got to it yet, but there is definitely. It would be 1999. This is how well I remember it. It was 1999, my birthday party, where me, my brother, my friends Stanley and Rachel did dress up as the Spice Girls, full on balloons up our tops and everything. And that video has to be around somewhere. Dreading finding that.
The thing is, I'm pretty damn certain that I have an equivalent video, also Spice Girls, just different people.
It'd be weird if it was same people. If you had a video of me and my mates.
I just replace you, and then everyone else is the same person, same people. It's just like, wait.
The one I've done recently is 2000 when down in California, English, not American, California.
There's a California in England?
Most of the bigger names in America are English first. And we were at a model village, and I love model villages. If you can put me in a model village with a train set, I'm a very, very happy man. But there's about 40 minutes of this footage, and I don't think I smile at all. I'm just the grumpiest little 10-year-old.
Do you know why, or is it lost to time?
I mean, no, I have no idea why. I'd gone on holiday with essentially my mum, my stepdad, and my grandparents. It was a fishing holiday. We were a little fishing village. So I would have been very, very happy for that. Oh, and my Uncle David as well. My granddad's brother. Well, I should have been ridiculously happy. No, just miserable as sin.
I mean, that is my experience with you as well.
I was going to say, because you're obviously one of the people who's met me in real life. I know I don't smile a lot, but Jesus.
Yeah, miserable. So.
Yeah. That may be a first for these Lego sets. A classic brick. It's red, it's got 8 studs. There's like ages since I've seen one of those. Yeah. That's the brick you think of when you say Lego.
I feel like you should stop putting this model together and just keep that.
The brick of destiny.
Surely there's some sort of prize associated with it or something.
It's the equivalent of getting a rare in those packs of cards.
Exactly. Keep that. Sell it to someone.
These little grey studs, they're commons. We don't want them. They can go.
See, I had that with a. I went on a little bit of an online quest. So I wanted to see if I could get Lego men for Splitsy and I in the spacesuits in our colours. And I found that they made a special edition orange spaceman. So this is like the classic 80s spacesuits. So I found they made a special edition orange version for a book. It was like a book of like minifigures through history. So that one was easy enough, but to do the same in grey, you had to collect the pieces from different sets, because it was like the only one with the grey backpack was like a fireman, and to get the grey suit you had to get that from somewhere else, and then but the helmet was only in one set in grey that was released in like 1983 or something.
Yeah.
And the sets were running like $100+.
It amuses me that in a released alongside a book that is about the history of Lego minifigures, there is a unique minifigure.
There's it's ridiculous how many uniques there are now. Like if you buy the X-wing kit, you get the Luke Skywalker pilot with it. But if you buy specifically Luke's X-wing, that has its own separate mini. And there's also now the Smart Brick X-wing, which has a different figure in it. And then there's the Ultimate Collector's Series X-wing, which also has a different pilot. But if you want all 4 of them, you've got to buy 4 X-wings. They know their market, really do.
Well, and then if you want a full squadron, you need to buy another 8.
Yeah,
A full squadron of
Luke
of
Skywalkers.
Yeah.
That seems weird.
It's a choice. Thanks for the follow.
And somewhat continuity breaking.
And then, and then you're just sitting there saying, Red 5 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
Four in, everyone's lost track of which Red 5 was who, and you just keep on going.
Red 5, did you answer? I think I did. Let's start again. Ooh, that's rubbery. Why is Lego rubbery now? That's wrong. Stop that.
When they, and then each X-wing is a different version of Luke from a different scene in the movies that they made a Lego set of. So then you get to the back to tank version of Luke.
And you get to the one right at the very end who says Carrie instead of Leia. So he's the only one who says Red Force. Like, damn it, wrong one.
I watched some footage recently of The Empire Strikes Back. Like the raw footage.
Yeah.
So it's Peter Mayhew reading Chewbacca's lines.
Oh, it's brilliant. You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor.
Well, that's
New Hope.
That's David Prowse for Vader.
Oh, got the wrong one.
Yeah, Mayhew's
Yeah,
those.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, Peter Mayhew's like, come on, we'll get the hell out of here. Just tell them we're leaving.
Oh, when he's repairing the Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to find that one. One of the things that I found fascinating was that Princess Leia didn't meet Darth Vader, James Earl Jones, until the press releases after the filming. There's no scene that they were ever on set together. Because obviously it was Prowse, it wasn't James Earl Jones. So yeah, she didn't meet him until like a red carpet event or something.
But she may not have even heard what the final voice was going to be like until she saw the full cut of the film.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to imagine that to her, James Earl Jones sounds really weird as Darth Vader.
I think I saw in one of the documentaries about the films in Empire Strikes Back when Boba Fett is taking hand from Cloud City. He went to perform the line and he said, put Captain Cargo in the solo hold.
That's where I'd put him.
Don't want to put him in the group hold. He's a special guest.
Funny mess up like that though is the animated Transformers movie from the 80s. They got a bunch of like bands involved doing songs and things, and they got Lion to cover the theme. The guys in Lion had no idea about Transformers or what was going on in the movie. So nobody noticed the spelling mistake in the lyrics that they were provided. So the rendition of the theme that they do for the movie has a line, "When you're caught within the grip of the evil unicorn." Instead of Unicron.
Well, that wouldn't have made much sense either way. Well, on the other side of the pond, because it was Unicron on one side and Omnicron on the other. That would have been confusing even if they had got it right.
Wait, what's an Omnicron?
Omnicron was the other name for Unicron that was used. One was Europe, one was America. I can't remember.
I didn't know that was a thing. Out of wash again. Stupid sinky chair. Ooh. Some fierce red on the guns.
Well, I'm gonna. The idea is I'm gonna start with a bit of fierce red, but get some pinks and some probably nice, maybe some purples. Get some nice biological colours in there.
Yeah,
If your biology is bug.
it's a big gun.
There's the rupture cannon. It is a scary gun. It would be very unusual for me to not have one of these in my army. Playing Tyranids tabletop.
You haven't got a Death Leaper yet, have you?
Yeah,
Have you?
Yep.
You missed that one.
I haven't painted him.
Ah.
Well, it's not the same thing. Got a, painted a,
Yeah.
different.
We'll need something for target practice for my Doomstalkers.
That's fine. I also have a Norn emissary.
They actually I saw a random news article the other day. Apparently, they've released the updated stat block for the Tyranid Prime. And its backhand is more powerful than a Norn emissaries.
Okay, it needed some love. Primes were shit. But it's simply
No, the only thing I remember about the stat block as I glanced at it was standard profile is 4 attack.
yeah, that sounds normal though. It's fairly default for Nids. 4 arms, 4 attacks.
Oh, this is just its left hand. Its other hand is a different weapon. This is just the one claw.
Yes, this is a Tyrannofex, indeed. Tyrannofex with a Rupture Cannon, which I believe has a BS of 18.
Yep, that's just what I was thinking.
BS of 18. I can't be right. Unless I'm completely misremembering how the rules work, it would. Ballistic skill would be like 5 or 6, wouldn't it?
No.
Or has my brain reverted to third ed rules again?
BS is your
It, isn't it?
yeah.
What's the next one in that chain? It's to hit
AP.
AP.
Alright. What's my next step?
So hit is against armor.
Clean up
and
this
then-
mess.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, because
Hit is against
yeah.
armor, and then AP is against your save,
Yeah.
essentially.
my brain is reverted to you hit
Yep.
and then you pierce armor. Okay,
Yeah, no.
that makes sense. I mean, what model needs 18 to hit? That's
Essentially,
insane.
your chance is represented by the number of attacks you get.
Yeah.
And your whatever the other one is.
Yeah, the basic profile now is just you roll to hit regardless of their stats, and then it's versus.
Indeed.
Okay, that went horribly. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, the gun is 100% a second creature. And that's why I'm painting it in slightly different colors to the other bit. Is I want to lean into the idea that this is a symbiote, and so is not necessarily of quite the same pattern as the creature it's holding on to.
Hive Guard's still a thing. No, Tyrant Guard.
Yep. Yeah, no, I've got a still thing as well. They're pretty good for their specific purpose. Give Tyrant an invulnerable save. He doesn't have it otherwise.
Not talking about the big armored shelled crab claw. Talking about the quadruped with the living cannon that can shoot. One was a Hive Guard. I'm sure one was a Hive Guard and one was a Tyrant.
Yeah, Tyrant Guard exists as well. Yeah. Yep. They both exist.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody mention them.
That's because they're bad.
They can't be that good then.
That's because they're not very good.
Yeah, because they were one of the first ones that really lent in. The gun is its own separate entity. The big guy is just...
Yeah, it's a cool vibe. It's a cool vibe. Some of the models are done better than others. There are some where they're definitely, you get the impression that the artist was a bit confused how this was supposed to work. It's like, are you holding it, or is it a gun? Is it its own creature, or is it... yeah, you only sort of understood the assignment.
I wonder how much of that is played into a little bit with, well, we've got the template for a warrior.
Yeah, indeed.
The hive mind is not going to breed an entirely new hand. Just flatten it out and strap it to the side, it's fine. We're not wasting biomass on that.
Alright, I'll be back in a second.
I should not be doing this step.
Found out the purpose of the rubbery bit out earlier. The D-pad for the Game Boy sits on it, allows you to press it in and it actually depresses. Rigid as the old Game Boy did as well. There are 4 directions of movement. Do not complain.
Classic.
Is whose audio, Tadler?
Mine probably. Usually is.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Any other contenders?
I mean,
Case,
it could be me. I have moved my microphone slightly. I could see. But as it is red pill, will not
It's
give us any
not as good as
information.
usual.
Yeah. There's nowhere I can
Like
really.
it's normally clearer because it sounds like you're off axis.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, it's just you're a bit more muffled than you normally would be.
Let's try that. See if that helps.
That does.
Experiment time.
What are we experimenting with?
Sorry, audio police has arrived. Not intentional.
You got a license for that microphone?
It's not really audio police, it's sort of audio inspector. And come around and make sure proper standards are being achieved.
I will be bothering you at some point in the next couple of months. I do need a new microphone. This one is.
I like timescales that are measured in months. Those are the best. Bothers.
Other things to work on first, but a microphone is definitely on my list of soon to gets. Probably a sound card. Let me audio down. Be a little more controllable.
It won't be in a sound card, it'll be something external.
Actually,
Same deal, but yeah.
Well, the reason I'm thinking sound card to do.
I'm not saying Go XLR or anything here, I'm just saying
Yeah.
it'll end up being external.
Yeah, the reason I'm thinking sound card is because it kills two bugs with one stone. It allows me to get a better way of getting the audio into my PC, as well as separating an audio source out.
Well, no, what I'd plan to give you would be a sound card, but it's in a box. That's USB.
Yeah, a desktop one. Okay.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be. You wouldn't physically put it in
Yeah.
the computer. You'd run it off USB because that is legitimately a better way of doing it.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't thinking necessarily 2008 series Sound Blaster.
No, I got you. It's just when you're inside the rig, you cannot get away from the fact that you're sitting next to, whatever graphics card you're running.
Multiple
what
sources
that
of
is.
noise and interference.
Just all sorts of sources of crap. And you can't avoid that, but USB does it. USB has got sufficient isolation in it, especially if you're using something that's externally powered as well, that you just none of that exists anymore.
Yeah. As we're speaking about it, actually, Droid has been having issues with his audio. Playing Space Marine with him earlier, absolutely fine, no problem, and then his audio drivers just cut out and he has to reboot his computer and reinstall them. No idea what's causing that.
Do you know what audio, what's he using to provide audio?
No. Come on, I've given you no information. Answer the question, tech boy.
Yeah, exactly. You know already from that question, you're not prepared for this discussion at all. I'm more than happy to help.
Yeah, I've given him a couple of suggestions on what might help, but to be honest, audio is not my forte.
Wouldn't have said it was mine either, but between band shenanigans and this amount of YouTube and Twitch, it sort of ends up coming it.
Yeah.
Even as someone who tries their best to not when it comes to like PC hardware, etc., like do sufficient research that you buy in once. I've still bought once like 5 times now because it's just been going on long enough that that's what's happened. You know, technology has moved on, requirements have moved on or changed, and so yeah, that's why my audio setup right now is so stupidly complex, is because some of my buy once never went away; they just got added.
Yeah, I'm all right with my Behringer mixer. That seems perfectly reasonable. I would like a better way of feeding my own input back to me so I can hear myself, but
Okay, hang on. So if you've got them, we need to look with that. We need to look into what mixer you've got, understand its capabilities properly, because it
Yeah.
may be that we can get you the right little interface, and it'll still be external, but it might not be sound card quite in the same way. It might specifically be an interface, something that'll work, play ball really nicely with that mixer, instead of having to sort of jump through hoops to convert for it.
okay.
Because I bet you that's kind of what you're doing at the moment, is like a PC's standard output isn't really mixer compatible.
Yeah. Right, now this is telling me I need to use a rubber band. I don't see a rubber band. Oh, I bet I do. I bet it's in the shiny little box that I left to one side because I thought, that's different. I wonder what's in that. What a surprise. All that cardboard for a washer-size rubber band. WWF guys are going to have my head. And again, my audio issues can't start again because they never go away. Always something I'm not happy with about it.
I mean, ironically, I would argue that I don't. What mic are you using at the moment?
80-20-20.
I don't think you need to replace that. I honestly think we just need to improve your feed to your mixer.
Okay.
And maybe tweak a few settings on it. It's a good sounding mic. The only thing you're missing over what I've got is a bit of brightness, and that's EQ.
Right. The thing that kind of prompted this and has annoyed me recently is I've set it up so I can hear my own
USB?
voice back.
Well,
No. No, it's not. Like, my brain was I'm literally looking at the connection plug and going, "What
it
are
takes a
you?"
lot. In
Yeah.
which case, no, you keep that. You keep that. We can do we can sort the whole mic feedback thing. That's why I need to look at the specs of the mixer. As long as the mixer's capable, which it should be because it's a mixer, we can sort all of this.
Yeah.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah, the thing that's prompted
all you're
it
going to need
is
is the right thing that sits in the middle, your replacement sound card,
Yeah.
which is going to be an interface. The question is, what does that interface need to do? And
well,
that interface will improve the whole quality of things.
I shall have a think
Yes,
about that then.
I don't know what you're running on at the moment. And estimated budget?
Not really an
80
issue.
quid?
Like,
No,
not
I'm
something
just gonna
stupidly.
give
Oh,
you
oh,
an idea.
I see.
Was like for something that's going to do this job, you're talking
Yeah.
like 80 to 120.
Oh, fair enough.
Like they're not even that expensive.
Yeah, so the thing that's prompted it for me is when I fed the audio back to myself the other day, how I sound to me is how I should sound. But when I listen back to the stream, it sounds completely different. That bothers me.
And this is, I mean, when you say how it's feeding back to yourself, is that by listening straight through the mic?
Yeah, mic to mixer straight back out again, yeah.
So even then you got the mixer in the chain, but that tells you what I was saying, which is how much your PC is
Yeah, cutting it down.
crushing that. This paint is bleed through, well, which is why I'm having to put more than one layer on. But that's also allowing me to slowly build up a bit of blend to it, I guess is the way to describe it. Find myself a good pink. Or purple, perhaps.
This is what it feels like being one of those people that does Gundam models.
What do you mean one of those people?
I'm doing all the panel lines.
I find that relatively cathartic.
There's a lot of lines on this thing.
This set does not have a pink. It sort of makes sense. It's a sort of military set in the end. How much was that paint set? £110, I think. Understanding that all the slots were filled. It's just there's a whole bunch that live on the desk or in trays like this at the side of the desk. Speaking of which, give me a better look.
But no US Army pink in the set?
No US Army pink, no. I would say £110 for what? 52 paints is very good value.
Somewhere in this set, there is one too high stud that has the letter A written on it. And I didn't realise it had the letter A written on it, so now I've got to dismantle the entire damn section, find which piece I've used it on.
Yes. Suck it. Read the damn manual.
Reading's not the problem. Comprehending is the problem. Aha! It was the first one I checked.
Lucky bastard.
Yes. Very.
But yeah, to give you an idea, while these are, that's a good price for some what are quite good quality paints. Like Vallejo is a good paint manufacturer. I got it on sale. It was down from 168, and they have been the majority of the paints I've used since. I've just supplemented them here and there with occasional opportunity to purchase the stock of a store that's shutting down. Isn't it? I have so much Nuln oil at the moment because of that. It's just ridiculous.
Please just take it, for the love of God.
Well, not only that, but I didn't realize that they were all coming in like the beefcake pots.
Yes,
Like,
Rain.
that ain't your standard Games Workshop.
Oh, damn.
These I didn't realize what I was getting was the Chunky Boy pot.
Oh, hell. when the stream chat notices you've missed a piece before you do, but the comment comes in as you've already redismantled it and started doing it. Well,
Oh, that is a deliciously violent colour.
I don't think I've ever heard violent described as delicious before. In fact, I'd like you to see a therapist.
Just needs the right context, my friend. Meanwhile, Kabak noises continue to be scary.
Oh, that wasn't me.
I think that was me.
Was it? Oh, okay.
I dropped the shell.
Typically, violent sounds originate from the Kabak side of things. I think I might need to start building up an amazing paints collection. Like, just from the angle of, like, some paints just... different manufacturers, different paints, different colors. Some colors just really work well. This purple? I wish every paint behaved like this purple behaves.
The only one I can think
And
of.
I feel like I should get in this habit of like taking these paints when I find them and just going, no, you go in the special aisle, where you're one of these amazing paints, and then slowly you build that amazing paint pile up to the point where you've got a full collection of amazing paints that cover everything.
Well, the problem with that is when you think you've got an amazing paint, then you go buy a pot of it, and it turns out you got the dud this time.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that is also a thing. But I'm gonna put a big marker. I'm gonna start doing this. How am I gonna mark these? A ring. Done badly.
One ring to paint them all. Right, that is... and a line on there. Might go in and do another pass at some of them. A bit. Have any on the head? We do not. Okay.
Son is trying to get me into painting minis as part of his plan to get me into 40k. Any recommendations? Yes. Don't.
Run.
My recommendation would be, I mean, play some 40k maybe, but I really wouldn't necessarily get too tied up on trying to paint an army. It is a lot more enjoyable to, in my opinion, take up the hobby of painting and then consider the hobby of 40k and think of them as two different things.
Yeah, don't limit yourself. Look at BattleTech, Warhammer, some of the Star Wars, X-Wing stuff's really good for repainting. And if you do end up getting into Warhammer, find an army you like. Don't try and build around an army that you think is going to play well. Play what you like. That's always going to be more interesting.
I think in this case, playing 40k makes sense. Right? Just the advice of picking an army based on something you like the look of.
Yeah.
But also, I was more thinking of the idea that like it's absolutely cool to jump in from a pure painting perspective and think about the playing of the game later.
Yeah.
And I guess getting too tied up on the playing of the game can hurt the former.
I agree with that.
Like if you're going to aim for 40k armies, keep it small stuff, at least to begin with.
Yeah. Go into the shop and find a model you want to paint. If that model becomes your army, brilliant. If not, you've still painted a cool model. Hell, I mean, I got into Warhammer in 3rd Ed. My friend came around with the code, with the rule book, and was like, here's the list, pick an army. And I just went through and found a cool looking dude in grey armor that had a cool headpiece on. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm playing. Nice. Played them for 10, 12 years, I think.
AdMech can be a little fiddly to paint.
That sounds like he's familiar. The only concern I'd have with AdMech is from rules perspective. Like, not that straightforward army to understand.
And if you decide it's not for you, the best way to get out of it is to start painting your son's stuff. And then when you do it wrong, he'll stop bothering you.
Let's see if this works. So, nope, that's the old. That. Fresh stuff. Oh, my camera's gone to another dimension.
I remember all the tricks my dad used on me, that's why. He didn't want me painting his Airfix, so he gave me all crappy paints, so that when I tried to paint it didn't come out well and I stopped. Joke's on him, he didn't stop me. I've still got loads of Airfix.
The first minis I painted were with enamel paints. And I didn't know how to use them.
What do you mean, like that one? Yeah. I bought the 4-pack of Airfix Star Wars fighters a couple of years back for Christmas. It's like a 80s kit, essentially. And it came with Airfix pots of enamel paint. I've still got the TIE Fighter Grey left in it. God knows when I'm ever going to use that, but it's still there.
My first experience painting was doing exactly what I was doing now, except with a starter set of Games Workshop paints and the Mike Oldfield CD playing.
I think mine would have been like cavalry soldiers on horses. I have a couple of them when I was a kid.
And it was probably a Gene Stealer and not a Tyrannosaurus.
I don't think Tyrannosaurus existed back then.
No, they didn't. No, absolutely not. I've still got it.
Your big boy was a Carnifex back in the day.
Yep. Tyrannosaurus or Hive Tyrant. And Hive Tyrant was more of a ranged option at that point.
That's works all right.
One of it was it all warriors that could wield the formidable venom cannon.
I think my first actual kit I bought myself to paint would have been probably a squad of 3 bikers for Space Wolves.
Look at that. Even back then I bought a squad of bikers to paint, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I
Cool model.
3 normal bikes and an attack bike with sidecar.
Box of Chaos Dwarf Warriors. My first minis.
Come on, Jack, what you got? What was your first minis?
I know I did Airfix before I did Warhammer. Started on a Spitfire.
Now you say that, it might be the same for me as well. But I can't remember ever getting to the point that I peaked. Stick deck I was on, sure.
I know we were. The one I remember is from my dad's for Father's Day. We got my dad a B-52. Or, no, it was a Hurricane. And he had that built before we were ready for school. It was in the middle of painting it as I was setting off for school. We used to get them up relatively quickly. He used to call me, his mum, my grandma, he used to call her the Luftwaffe. Every time she dusted, she knocked one down and killed it. It wasn't a fun sound. What happened?
Crimson Arms as well.
Hey, sorry. I'm not a knob. Barely even a grot at this point. Also, speaking of, when are we getting back to Icarus?
Squig herder, I think, is probably what will
I'd
give
be
you the best.
I'd be a squig herder, that'd be great.
That's all the tiny little runes. I'll do a second pass and the lines.
Dying all last week and you've had food poisoning for 2 days. You've been eating sausages at a wasted kitchen again.
Yeah, don't eat those. Those have been on the side for a while. Although to some extent I feel like fair punishment for eating someone else's sausages. Like,
If you've gone across from Canada to the UK into someone's
in order
house,
to go into my kitchen and steal my fucking gibelot. You get what you deserve.
I don't know, if you're willing to go that far, I feel like you deserve a good sausage.
It's hardly theft at that point. That's an earned sausage, not a stolen sausage.
Well, then that's why you need to say hi. Don't steal the sausage. Knock on the door. Give me a sausage.
Oh, why?
That will give you food poisoning.
And say happy birthday while you're at it.
Damn right. When's your birthday, Mr. Garrick?
What's the date today? 4th?
Yeah. Okay.
12 days.
Oh, really?
And
The 16th. Good number.
as per usual, made plans and not gonna happen.
That sounds appropriate. Have you made second plans?
I've had some
Cheers, sorry,
unscheduled
man.
events into
Much
the year.
appreciated.
I haven't got a backup plan yet. Probably just do the usual thing.
Usual thing.
Pretend it's not happening. Avoid reminders of mortality.
Yeah, the sun's gone around the planet's gone around the sun again. I get it. We're over it.
Well, hence comes the motivation to attempt to make some sort of event out of it instead. Because at least then it's like, yes, mortality has arrived, but it was half decent at least. And thankfully, and no thanks to my family, Jake's fist, it was decent because I went skiing and I was doing it again this year. Wah.
Listen to the song Birthday Death Day by Death Pop.
Vogue, I wouldn't boil them, my friend. You shouldn't need to go that hot. Even like 50, 60 degree water should be fine. Convert that at your leisure. I'm not going to do it for you.
There was actually a part missing from that pack.
Okay, okay. As long as you're not actually boiling, because that will not do great things. I was being sure, Mr. Fogg. I did. Oh no, I do not know what you mean.
There was one L-shaped piece missing from that pack. But luckily, there was one L-shaped piece left over from the previous pack. That kind of worked out well.
It's intentional. They're manipulating you.
That wouldn't surprise me. I am highly manipulable.
my god, this new yellow is amazing. Really? Single coat coverage over black? Nice.
Sounds pretty good.
Quite controllable out the bottle as well.
I think that's a pretty accurate representation. I've got me, excuse me, my Game Boy Pocket out as well, and I don't have an original to compare it to, but they're pretty accurate.
Should do.
Well, I should go and stick my other on shortly. I have duck tonight.
The urge to slam my head into the desk then was overwhelming. May have been watching Hot Shots recently.
I just watched Idiocracy for the first time the other day.
Good
really?
things about it.
And thoughts?
Yeah, it's a pretty good little movie. I always avoided it because it sounded depressing.
Well, sometimes you gotta watch those ones.
I thought it,
But I
it
would-
actually had a.
Yeah, I was
I
about to say,
quite enjoyed the ending.
I wouldn't say Idiocracy is one of those ones, but yeah, sometimes you gotta watch the slightly more depressing ones. I find myself thinking of Falling Down here in particular.
I don't even know that one.
Really?
Yeah, not one I've encountered
Okay.
at all.
Go back.
I am also at a loss.
Chat.
I never rated Top Secret. Yeah, this one looks
You guys have heard of it, and yet I bet so many of you have seen a clip from it.
right.
What is this?
Wow.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is quite a depressing film.
Now I know I've watched that one, but I was probably about 8 when I did, so I have no memory of it.
Jack Nicholson is institutionalized. For being himself.
Being himself in the movie, or for being Jack Nicholson?
Yes.
What's the one with him and Tom Hanks in it that you can't handle the truth?
Few Good Men?
In that either.
I only know it via references to it.
I find sitting down and actually watching a movie takes way longer than actually just watching a movie.
So, none of chat have seen Falling Down either.
Nope.
Okay. The best we got is One Times Rings a Bell. I'm not disappointed, I just am.
Pointed, I just hate you all.
I'm just writing you all out of my will right this second. So, the scene that everyone, well, God damn it, Chrome, what have you done? Why are you disappearing? Don't do that. You'll have seen this.
Burgers. Oh, I think I've seen that guy in memes.
Yeah, I'm aware of his face.
You're aware of his face. Some people can't be helped. It's fine.
Welcome everybody to the Wasted Disappointment Hour.
It hurts more when it comes from someone who routinely bombards me with fucking bizarro anime out of nowhere and expects me to know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah,
No,
we only watch good things.
I'm the weird one. I'm the weird one for knowing cult classic 80s movies, and Capac's the normal dude.
Oh, I am looking forward to the new season of Evangelion.
Yeah.
Aren't we all? Wait, no, that's not what it is.
I wonder how they'll end it again this time.
Well, they did sad ending the first time and happy ending the second time, so now it's got to swing back to sad ending, I guess.
No, you've missed the third anime ending. But what the fuck?
But what about neutral ending?
Yeah, okay. Maybe you've cracked the case.
See, I can animate too.
I'm surprised Game Workshop have never tried to do a Tau anime, to be fair.
Because no one likes the Tau.
Well, Netflix has been doing some anime stuff, and they're doing the whatever the Warhammer thing is going to be. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
sounds
successful. Oh yeah, they did do the Fire Warrior game.
Fire Warrior, that's like...
Yeah. Back in 1999, sure.
Yeah, but let's be real, that's more than most races in Warhammer ever got.
Weirdly, I was explaining to someone about Fire Warrior today while we were playing earlier, and how many versions of Space Hulk there actually are.
Where's our AVP equivalent? It'd be so straightforward to pull off. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah, okay, but
it
who's
almost writes itself?
who's the
Catan in
Predator?
jungle against the Lictor.
No, lean into the do a full-on Space Hulk. Just make the Space Hulk more like I can't remember which one of the fucking games it was, but one of the Space Hulk games did a Space Hulk that wasn't just corridors.
Oh, Deathwing Space Hulk Enhanced
that's
Edition.
Definitely.
Yep.
That's the one. Like lean into that vibe, build some decent environments, and make it a AVP style game where you've got fucking. Well, I mean, pick what you want. You go Tyranid, Eldar, Tyranid Necron Marine, Tyranid Necron Guard, Tyranid Guard Marine. Like, the only real prerequisite is you're gonna have Tyranids.
What, make it one of these extraction shooters?
Oh God, no.
Well, I mean,
Not only
that's kind of the perfect format for it, though, because you're getting sent
a
in
bit,
to collect
yeah.
an old relic or something.
It is a bit.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. It is
No.
a pretty good format, and not only that, but with that, you could potentially also over time add, like, continue adding different factions.
Well, that's how we got onto the subject. Because if they're doing Space Marine 3, what faction do you add? Do you go back to Orcs? Do you decide to finally do Necrons and annoy everybody by doing it completely wrong?
No, it doesn't. The Necrons don't tie into current GW shenanigans.
Well,
There you
The
go.
real question is, who does GW want to push?
yeah.
You go balls to the wall with Slanesh. That's what everybody wants to see.
I mean, weirdly, both Necrons and Slanesh are getting a game. Mechanicus 2 is coming out, which is Necrons,
I think it's
and
Dark Eldar.
Bolt Gun
I think
2
I'm-
is your other ones.
I think I'm with Fog. I think it's Dark Eldar.
Well, they did kind of set up Necrons in the last one, though.
Well, then the Secret Labs level, whatever they did, kind of
Set
then
them
went,
up
oh,
with
we're doing
area.
Orcs. I mean, the problem with it is, I mean, I'm a Necron fan. I like me Necrons. I like me undead boys. But they don't work in a horde shooter. They're going to be really dull to fight a pack of 4 Necron warriors. The Skorpek Destroyer would be horrific to fight, but...
Bless you. Bless you. Listen to this poor dude. You can tell there hasn't been proper representation of Necrons in these games for a while, because he still thinks that they're going to represent Necron warriors like they're a danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're some sort of threat. No, sir. No, that's not how it goes down.
Well,
They will throw 400 Necron warriors at you before you get to the first checkpoint.
That's kind of the point, that you either do it over the top, where it doesn't feel like Necrons, or you do it appropriate to Necrons, where it doesn't feel like a horde shooter. There's no balance that makes... Yeah. I think it was worse with the Orcs in the first one.
Yeah, they've done it with both factions. Like, why do you think that Necrons would get some sort of special treatment?
Oh, I don't. I just think it wouldn't work for a player. I don't think I'd enjoy that as much.
The reason it will be Necrons is because they follow a relatively easy animation and modeling path from what they've already got.
True.
It's the reason it won't be Eldar, for example, or Dark Eldar, is they're just gonna be a nightmare to animate.
And yeah,
to do them properly in any serious way, they're just gonna be a nightmare to animate, and then they won't be fun to play against.
And yeah, I do feel like if in Space Marine 2...
You don't want to play against a Harlequin squad.
No, you don't.
It's not going to be fun. You know what I mean?
Ask Coatman what happens when you run at Banshees.
You know what I mean? It's just like that. Most Eldar's not going to be a good an introduced force, because their very nature makes them like they are one of the least unit numbered races of all of them. Like, you'll get fewer models from them versus anybody, and the whole point is they're a pain in the ass to hit, and that doesn't make for a fun game. And you can't really get around but these guys' lore is they're a pain in the ass to hit. Like, they're really fast and they disappear all the time. That's not a fun game mechanic.
The only way I can see it being fun is if you take Space Marine 2 as the engine and the example for it, instead of a Carnifex showing up or a Hellbrute, all of a sudden there's some Dark Eldar Kabalite warriors riding in on a raider, and you're fighting them on the vehicle, killing as many as you can before they then just duck out and leave. Turn them into the B-52 of Space Marine.
I gotta be honest with you, I don't think they're clever enough to do something like that.
They're not brave enough to do anything like that.
Which is why it'll be one of the standard races.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Games Workshop would let a developer put in a single set from a game without it being a full race. I think that's probably a bit of a demand they have. The humans are, especially in Space Marine 2, are a bit of an underused faction, in my opinion. I think having things like Sentinels and stuff would make the Chaos Marines a little more interesting. That's the other thing. They're adding in another Terminus enemy for the Chaos, because at the moment they've only got the Hellbrute, which is frankly getting a bit boring to fight.
I mean, yeah, and at the same time, the Hellbrute is also awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's great until you're in siege and you're fighting 3 of them at once.
Yeah.
Then you're kind of like, can we just have something ranged, please, so that I can stop dodging for a second and actually fight? Wasted. Oh, why it's just coming to my head. We started our archipelago thing the other day. Hitman is not one to do. Like, you start with 2 checks of it. You can be BK'd after doing 1 mission. If you're doing it solo or against somebody else who's also just doing Hitman, it's fine. But it's not a good one to put in for Black Sheep and that. It is fun, however.
Good night, Wolf.
Right, Wolf.
Man, the ADD versus perfectionism does really come to a front when it comes to miniature basing. I'm yet to find a proper solution to it. There will be one.
Never known Lego fit together badly before, but somehow Airfix have done it.
Oh, it is an eye. Don't worry, it will be. This bit here is an eye. We haven't got there yet. It's going to start with the same green, but we're going to do some overlay stuff to make it eye-like. dawned on me that I have an equivalent to Anime Chat.
Oh,
Fish chat.
No. Explicitly, it must be chat that engages one of two other partners. We have Armsky chat. Like the question of next year.
true. I mean, the only question is, can we go back to our plan? Well, that's the Airfix kit done. I think that took me about 7 minutes. And honestly, that was crap. Like, half of the fun of Lego is seeing how it all builds up together and becomes a plane in this case. And how this becomes a plane is they made a plane and disassembled it. And then that's the parts you've got.
Here's two wings, a fuselage, a cockpit, etc.
Yeah.
Assemble these things. Congratulations. Wow, would you believe it's a plane?
Yeah, it's like when you're a kid and you got like a join the dots picture. You're like, okay, so that's a bucket and spade then. Yeah, but you've got to join the dots. Why? I can see a bucket and spade. Yeah, and even though it's designed to be,
Lego.
yeah, even though it's designed to be one kit, it doesn't feel like it fits together as a kit. There's bits that are overhanging and don't quite fit together and don't quite make sense. And you're like, well, you made this, my guy. Yeah, well. Only a fiver, not exactly a waste. Right, well, I don't think I've got time to build an entire other Lego kit in 15 minutes. I think that's me done for the evening.
To be honest, I am soon to depart as well. I am getting tired. It's a late beginning for me this evening.
It was quite late.
But that is fair. Yeah, I got wrapped up in random chat. It's
Oh.
fine. It hasn't affected sleep schedules. So I maintain a good margin, but may impact stream for the night.
It has been a pleasure as always.
Don't tell him that.
Oh, I assume he was
Just
talking to
lie
you.
to the man out front.
But you know, I wasn't telling you that.
To my face
Oh,
cap hack.
okay,
Wow.
that's fair.
I've got to clear all this so I can actually get to my map. Yes, it has been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. I may even be back next week if you'll have me. I think I have enough sufficient kits to tide me over.
I might build the thing that both of the Australians refused to build with me next week. Might join you with some Lego. How about that?
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, if you're doing Lego, I should do
Damn.
Warhammer, surely.
Damn great.
Don't you still have a monster to build as well?
Yes, but that's scary.
I did kind of expect that to be the answer. This is the whole thing of when does it stop being perfect and start being too much? And I think you're going to have that a lot with Raidou.
Yes, I am. 100%. I think the answer with Ray Dow actually is to intentionally give up with the idea of doing too much detail painting on him and do a load of overbrushing and dry brushing.
Yeah.
Because I think it will work with his scale pattern, especially if I mix up the colors a bit. And then just be like, and the only detail I do is a little bit of highlight here and there with the brush. And otherwise, he's predominantly dry brushed.
Yeah. Are you sticking to the actual game colors, or are you going to go for a variant and have a play with it?
No, I think the game colors look awesome.
Yeah.
I don't. Ray Dow's yeah, Rain. Not just any old Ray Dow mini. I have probably the best Ray Dow mini anybody has.
Yeah. It's a hell of a kit. Well, hell of a model. It's not even a kit.
It's a sort of Ray Dow mini where I have to zoom the camera out in order to fit him all on one screen. Because a good friend of mine made this for me, and he's spent ages figuring out how to get it rescaled and then printed and then doing most of the model cleanup for me as well. Because he's a crazy man. And not just doing it really well. So what size does it stop being a mini when the thing's about a foot wingspan?
Yeah. I mean, I would even say that you're like a Gargant. It's still technically a mini. But that Mad Cat you've got, that's not a mini. That is no longer a mini.
Yeah. No, this is not a Jericho sculpt. This is made by a friend of mine called Mr. Laden. He didn't sculpt it. The sculpt is a purchase sculpt. What he did was things like scale it to this size, add various bits to make it supportable from a miniature perspective, so that I've got room to add rods and the like to give it proper supporting features, and spend God knows how long filing it down so that all the seams are like, there you go, I put that neck together. Do you see the seam?
Yeah, it's a gorgeous mini. I genuinely can't wait to see it fully painted.
And then, because the 3D sculpt didn't come with a base, he went and modified a separate one up to and including, I'm not sure if you can see these, but see these little dots? They're super subtle registration marks that line up with slightly extended bits on his feet. So you can always position him exactly where he's supposed to be. So he sits like that. And he's got a good pose and everything for it. That looks legit. So yes, but he is also scary.
Yeah. Yeah, Wasted's too afraid to paint that one.
He's enormous and a one-off. Well, this is the problem, is I have a bit of a collection of minis that are in some way super challenging and one-off.
Yeah.
So one of the ones we've started recently, where is he? I have started one of them, one of Jericho's sculpts. We have begun Seklan, if I can spot where he's gone. Which apparently I can't.
Oh God, he's not.
Snake camouflage is working great.
He's not gone AWOL, has he? That's a problem for everybody. He could be doing. He could be doing
Typically
anything.
No. This is the sort of thing, at least in the RPG game, where Sec going AWOL is something that just doesn't actually raise any drama anymore, because it's just what happens, and it takes a while for me not being around to actually register on any radar, which is slightly dangerous and has caused problems a couple of times. Sec's not here? Yeah. He's probably just wandered off to go and pretend to be an Imperial officer for a bit. Go and steal some stuff.
Those hyper-racist Imperial officers who would be quite happy to see a Snake Man walk through. That's a common sight, right?
Well, no, because the trick is you don't do it on an Imperial station. It's Imperial, it's probably wrong. It is typical deal, as you might expect. It's just grab a clipboard, grab some overalls, walk around like you're not worth bothering, and then bullshit hard enough that Shaq struggles to keep up. And you're good. Should we ever return it, I'm currently escorting a species is wolven. This is how you know it's a problem. It's been long enough I'm starting to forget this stuff. Essentially wolf species?
Shistavan.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Just David. He's one of them. And is a wannabe Jedi in the sort of way that, like, we've never really encountered a Jedi. So he's learning from stories and the occasional book he finds, and not much else, which is kind of fun.
He's the Jedi version of a weeb who's never been to Japan.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly that. You've nailed it. Not only that, but my character's whole stick with it is because we're proper Outer Rim setup. So we encountering Jedi, not really a thing. Is that they're fantasy stories, and it's basically a children's book. Like, these books he's finding, they're basically full children's book made up bullshit.
Right. Right, well, I'm going to bail. It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much. And I shall hopefully see you next week, if not before.
Oh, I know where Second is. I put him back in his container.
Actually, one quick question, Wasted and Capac. Are either of you looking at getting Toxic Commando when it comes out next week? Bye, Second.
Oh, no, and that snapped his arm off.
Ah, God.
Oh, dear.
Well, that's next week's project.
That's assuming we can find it. That was a violent...
Oh, has it gone full walkabout?
No, he's here, but yeah, that was...
Just the arm.
I keep him in a little gun container. And that container did not open cleanly at all. And now God knows where it is.
Well, have fun with that. Catch you later, Capac.
Catch you next time.
Disconnected.
Right, guys. Well, that was a hell of a note to end on. So, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'm glad to be back in the build streams. I need to keep on top of it, but I have a couple of small builds to do next week, and I do want to keep up. So we'll hopefully be back with that. I must admit, I did enjoy the Lego thing, the Lego Game Boy. It's a very fun build. I don't think it's my favourite build, but it's definitely up there. It's been a good one. I am going to be... Let's think about this. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so there'll be no day shift stream tomorrow. However, we will be back tomorrow night at the same time to do a little bit more Golden Sun. And then we're back on Thursday day shift to do some Sam and Max on our re-retro. I will, of course, allow you guys to maintain the building stream for what little is probably left of it. So I'm going to send you all over to Capac's side. Give the man some love. He is awesome. And yeah, we shall see you next time. Bye-bye.